What's up? This is ASSN. This is your boy 12-inch putting his foot down. And listen, in this episode, we had an amazing boxing card tonight. Amazing. We're talking about Big Baby Miller fighting Andy Ruiz. We're talking about Ruiz Pitbull Cruz. We're talking about Terrence Crawford. This was magnificent. Eddie Hearn and Your Excellency put their foot down. And that puts them smack dab in the middle of the 12-inch army. You know what I mean? But this is ASSN, and let's get it. Amazing fights all the way through. We're going to start off with Baby Miller versus Ruiz. There was a lot of exchanges. There was a lot of power punches going on. Now, this was a tough matchup. In the beginning, it looked like Andy Ruiz was getting the best of Miller. He was going on, hitting heavy body shots. He was absolutely loading up. Around the fifth round, looked like he kind of got gassed out just a little bit. And then at that point, Baby Miller started taking over. Just delivering disgusting blows to Andy Ruiz's body. They started working him upstairs. I mean, this thing was getting really, really good. At one point, it looked like Andy might have been on his way out, like he was getting ready to go down. But this fight was high-powered, packed with action. And at the end, I think that Big Baby Miller actually got cheated in this fight. I think he did enough to win that fight, at least by a round or two. He did show that his hand got hurt, and he said his hand looked like, I don't know what happened to his hand, but it looked pretty bad, and he said it happened in the fifth round. So I don't think that's coincidence that Andy started slowing down, but at the same time, I don't think that's the reason why he lost. And the reason why I'll say that is because you can initiate different types of tactics and techniques, like Tank Davis against Pitbull Cruz. In that fight, he resorted to winning the fight just pretty much solely with his jab. In this fight, Andy Ruiz continued to slug away and throw hard punches. And I really do feel that at the end of the fight, the way Baby Miller kept applying the pressure, kept working the body, and then eventually started working upstairs on the head, that Ruiz did not do enough to actually have this fight be a draw. To be honest with you, Baby Miller won this fight. I feel like he got robbed tonight. That was not a draw. Also, at the end of that fight, Andy was calling for a rematch. Now, do you guys want to see a rematch? Who do you guys think won that fight? Leave it in the comments below. Now, Andy, brother, if this is going to be another rematch, get your Snickers together, man. Because the last time you whooped some ass, which happened to be on Anthony Joshua, you said it was the power of the Snickers. So get your ass some Snickers. Then the next fight with Ruiz Pitbull Cruz fighting Jose Venezuela, I tell you, that was a very, very good fight. It was a very close fight. Pitbull had a lot of aggression. He was going out there. He was swinging. He was connecting at times. A lot of times hitting on the shoulders and also on the gloves. But Venezuela, Jose, had the tenacity. He had the sharp shooting ability to be able to pick off Pitbull Cruz with uppercuts. He started to hit him with hooks. It was a magnificent fight, and I think they got that one right. I don't think that fight was that close. I think Jose did show his exceptional skills at this 140 weight class. And at the same time, he showed that he is a true boxer. Whereas the aggression of Pitbull Cruz is exciting, but if he would have came in like that on the rematch of Tank Davis, I guarantee you he would have been knocked straight out. As you can tell by these moves. And that's just that. There's nothing to argue right there. But if they end up doing a rematch at some point, that could be very entertaining because a lot of people want to see that. But after losing this fight, I really don't think there's a reason to do that. But what if Tank fights Venezuela? That could be something in the future. Who knows who Tank has lined up next? But I do know one thing. They did show Vasily Lomachenko in the crowd. And I believe that he's actually ducking Tank. Because there's no reason for you to end up at that fight, no matter what's going on, and then say you need more time. In my personal opinion, it's a fight with too much risk. And it's not something he's willing to go into because he knows the possibility of getting knocked out is on the table and most likely going to happen. So he'd rather try to sit back, try to be a king in a sense, and try to have Tank fight maybe Shakur Stevenson or something like that. But to be honest with you, it should be Tank versus Lomachenko, and then we can do the Stevenson fight because they are younger, and that's what you want to see at the top of the pyramid. Also, moving on to the main event, Bud Crawford versus Madrimov, or they kept calling him the Dream, Madrimov. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. From what I saw a very, very, very skilled Uzbekistan boxer who has a lot of heart. He does have some size on him. He looks like he is bigger than 154, but he has a lot of movement. He had a lot of upper body movement. He had pretty good footwork, and he had good counter punching ability. He does have a skill there, but Bud Crawford did turn it on. Bud Crawford did start to pick him off, and in the 11th round, I think Bud Crawford could have almost scored a knockdown. It was such an intense battle in that 11th round where Madrimov was getting the worst of the punches, and he had to start holding on because Bud Crawford, although he's come all the way up from 135 and this is his 4th weight class, he has a lot of power, he has a lot of speed, he also knows what you're going to do. But I seen Bud get hit a lot more than I normally see him get hit, especially with power punches. You didn't see that in the Errol Spence fight, not to that level. You didn't see it to that level when he fought Sean Porter. I mean, when he fought Mean Machine. I mean, Mean Machine actually did deliver a good blow and probably scored a knockdown. But in the 11th round, Bud got real with it. He got mean. He almost went for a knockout. He did have Madrimov wobbly and holding on for dear life in that 11th round, and that could have been a round where he actually took over the fight and could have scored a knockdown. And then in the 12th, you saw the mean streak in Bud, but you also saw the respect that he has for this weight class because getting hit by somebody of that size is totally different than what he was campaigning at 147. But that was a magnificent fight. It was a very close fight, and two of the judges had Bud Crawford winning by 1 round, which would have been the 12th round. It was a very close fight. It wasn't like a pick'em fight. I don't feel like Madrimov won that fight, and I don't foresee anybody really be entertained with a rematch of that fight. We like to see Bud Crawford go on and see who else he ends up fighting and campaigning at 154. But I will say this, guys. I will say this. He shouldn't move all the way up to 168 or anything near that to go fight Canelo. I understand the pay is good, but that's not what this is really about. Your greatness and your ability to do what you do at these 4 weight classes is what really matters. If you want to try to go for a 5th, you can, but you did see the difference in weight. But maybe if Bud has some time at this weight class, you'll see him actually mature at this weight class physically and start to impose his will on other people. But this fight kind of proves that he should not jump up a couple weight classes and fight Canelo at all. Plus, you know, there's rules to this, man. I mean, or there should be in a sense. I don't think he should move up a few weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez. I think this is way too much. Even though he has the skill, he has the ability to beat somebody like Canelo Alvarez, but you just won't have the power and you just won't have the stamina. And then somebody being that much bigger is going to be a huge issue. Floyd Mayweather is a different beast, and it was a different time, and Canelo was at a different weight class at that time, and that's not this time. Canelo Alvarez, I think he's going to go on and continue to fight people that we probably don't care for him to fight or to see. This next fight coming up, it might be an okay one. He's fighting somebody undefeated out of Puerto Rico. That could be entertaining, but that is not what we want to see. We want to see him and David Benavidez, and that's that. This is your boy 12-inch putting his foot down right here on this channel. Make sure you do like, share, and subscribe, and just join the family. We're going to be talking sports, NFL. We got a lot of cool things coming up, and we rolling. So next time we pull up in your YouTube feed, get your ass.